I threw away my husband's fake art collection, and now he's not speaking to me. I think I've really messed up. My husband sees himself as an art connoisseur, even though he's not. His home office and the hallway were filled with a collection he inherited from his grandfather. The problem is, his grandfather got scammed, so most of the paintings, statuettes, artifacts, fake guns, books, and ship models are replicas or fakes. There are only a few genuine pieces. My husband knows this, but kept the collection because he liked it as a kid and added more fakes and reproductions over the years, saying he liked how they looked and didn't want to spend too much. Honestly, I couldn't stand all those random knickknacks, especially since they had no real value. His hallway and office looked more like a child's idea of a museum. 2 weeks ago, while he was away, I decided to put everything in storage and give his office a makeover. I knew he'd be upset, but I figured he'd come around eventually. When he came back, he went silent. I reassured him that I hadn't thrown anything away, just moved it to storage, and that his office looked much better now. I even joked that his grandmother should have done the same with his grandfather's stuff. But he told me the rest of the house was already in my style, and he had accepted that. But his office and hallway were his space. I told him he'd get used to it and would like it in time, but it's been a week, and he's clearly depressed. He doesn't spend time in his office anymore, barely talks to me, and has even refused intimacy. He's indifferent and told me I could get rid of the few things I kept. Now I'm starting to think I crossed a line. Did I make a mistake? I'm thinking about apologizing and putting everything back in his office. Update. I realize I really messed up, and I'm going to ask for his forgiveness. I'll get all his things back, and I'll even offer to display some of it in the living room. Here's a peace offering update. I went to my husband, gave him a heartfelt apology, and told him I genuinely wanted to restore his collection and get his office and hallway back to how they were before. I also apologized for going behind his back and disrespecting his personal space. I even offered to let him display some of his pieces in our bedroom and living room. Plus, next time he finds something he wants to add to his collection, I'll cover the cost. He accepted my apology and forgave me, and we spent the afternoon putting everything back in place. It's not worth creating tension between us over this. I may not love his taste in art, but I love him, and if he's happy, I'm happy. This situation also made me reflect on our marriage. It's starting to remind me of my parents' relationship. My mother has always been very controlling toward my father, constantly nagging and complaining. That's the main reason I keep my distance from her. My father, on the other hand, is quiet and avoids conflict, and my husband is similar. I'm realizing that I'm becoming more like my mother than I'd like to admit. I didn't throw away my husband's things outright because I knew deep down that would cause irreparable damage. But I do tend to do small controlling things, like swapping the clothes he picks in the morning for what I think looks better, or suggesting what he should post on social media or set as his WhatsApp profile picture. I had a long conversation with my husband and asked him how he really feels about my behavior. He said he's mostly fine with it, but sometimes I can be a bit intense. When I asked him to elaborate, he admitted that sometimes my behavior can feel suffocating. He even mentioned I do this while we're sleeping, like when I drape my leg over him, weighing him down. I admit I got emotional while listening to him, and even though he reassured me that he wasn't thinking about leaving me, I don't want to make him feel miserable like my father does. I asked if I should seek therapy to help manage my behavior, and he said he'd fully support me if I chose to. So now I'm looking for therapists. He also mentioned he'd be open to marriage counseling if I wanted to, and I'm seriously considering it. Hopefully, our relationship isn't too damaged, and I can work on becoming a more patient and understanding partner, just like he is with me.